Next question.
Sumit Dasgupta from Northwest Austin. I want to preface this question with a video presentation I saw today about two kids in Kentucky who were handcuffed from their back because they had ADHD and they were unruly in class. So I was very perturbed about that, and I got this invitation, so here I am. We live, as we know, in a very open, egalitarian city, community, but history has shown that even the best communities can go awry at a moment's notice. So what I'd like to see, based on the video that I saw, what proactively processes do we have, regulations, procedures, agreements that we have in the city to protect the children, particularly the minority children in our schools?
Thank you.
I'll start as far as protection. If you're talking about the issues in the school, is that what you're talking about, or just in general?
Yeah, issues in school, yeah.
So the Austin Independent School District actually has their own police department, and they go through a lot of training of how to deal with youth, troubled youth, techniques for, again, de-escalating those situations so that you don't end up in a situation like we've all seen in that video. So my shortest answer would just be that that's actually the Austin Independent School District, and they go through a lot of training to best handle those types of situations.
Thank you. Next question, please. If you have a blue card, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Sorry about that, I have my phone out. Hi, my name is Colbert. I'm a large black man. That also being said, I'm also a very educated black man. I have 3 degrees, so on and so forth. I have security clearance. And every day I go to work. 4:30 in the morning, serve this nation. I've taken an oath. And I have this question that how do we get to a point of trust? But I've realized that question is kind of beaten to death. I would say this. When I get up in the morning and I go to work, my fear, and I live in East Austin, isn't the drug dealers or the gangbangers. My fear is that when I get in my car and drive to my job, that I will be stopped by the police, and for any little provocation, can be shot by the police. And what will be brought up isn't that I'm a father, it isn't that I'm a law-abiding citizen, it isn't that I'm an educated man, it's that at some point in the 3rd grade I was in detention. I think that goes to the point of trust. As I look around here today, I come from a family of law enforcement. First part of my life was spent in it. But how do we come to a point of trust if the officers in this room are armed?
All right, thank you.
This very room, we look around, they're armed, but citizens were searched.
Thank you.
I respond to that. So it comes, there's 2 answers to that. The first answer is, number 1, truly holding them accountable, and that's by using metrics, and that's by putting those performance measures in line. And then the other side of it is with people that, like us, coming together and pouring back into our communities. I can tell you right now, I can probably name off 3 different programs that I'm doing myself with the help of volunteers all the time. You know, by staying involved, by keeping this discussion in the forefront of our youth. Because quite honestly, I'm very non-optimistic at this point. And I understand that the only way really to change the narrative in the future is by me pouring into my daughter, by me pouring into my son, so that he's not, first of all, fearful.
Thank you. Councilmember Houston, real quick.
Yes, thank you for that comment, young man. One of the things about trust is you have to have a relationship with people. In order to have a relationship with people, you have to recognize their humanity. And I think as a society, we have become so disrespectful of one another. The tones that we use to talk about ourselves and others is offensive, and we don't take the time to develop that relationship with somebody that doesn't look or think or act like we do. So that's one thing about how do we begin to trust one another. It's about relationship building. The other thing is about the media. The media is there to make the news, whatever that.
Fear-mongering.
Well, I didn't want to say that, but I'm trying to be civil here. But you understand what I'm saying. They're not here to develop relationships. They're here to make be the top thing on the news tonight. And so when they dig into your background and go back far enough to get something that you did in the 3rd grade, that's all about making news. And so we don't hold the media accountable either, because the media inflames and we don't do anything. And so I think, I'm sorry? Well, I'm just talking about the media now. I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about we don't hold the media responsible for not verifying the facts, to making sure that they're not putting out erroneous information that's spoon-fed to them. So I think it's mutual there.
Thank you. Can we go? Next question.
I'm Richard Baldwin with Houston Street Project, and unfortunately my question was for No-Show Acevedo. I noticed that when we had the town hall meeting after Byron Carter was killed, he didn't show up for that. When we had a town hall meeting after Larry Jackson was killed, he left as soon as the hard questions were asked. He blocks everybody that criticizes him on Twitter. And he didn't show up here. I know he says he has a meeting with the president. The president doesn't employ him. He doesn't protect and serve the president. We are his employers. If I didn't show up at a meeting with my boss, I'd be fired. So my question is, since Hargrave only listens to yes people, does he think he's doing a good job?
Again, I can only explain why the chief is not here tonight. We take this very seriously with the President's task force. I will tell you, out of that task force report, there were 151 recommendations for change. We have done an internal evaluation of the Austin Police Department, and we are already employing 126 of them here. We're looking to make sure we can't do them better, and we're now working to look at the ones that we are not employing to determine if we should and how we can, and several of those are actually federal mandates. So this is I think the President took the initiative to put this task force together to bring thought leaders across this country together for this report. It is the seminal work in policing across this country right now, and I believe we'd be remiss if our city manager and our police chief weren't there showing their support of that report. And I will tell you, we are taking it very seriously internally to ensure that we are following the recommendations of that task force.
Thank you.